Okay, if you've been following the news with GPU mining recently, you've probably been looking at RavenCoin, and we all know that it's super profitable. But what about PigeonCoin? Welcome back, my name is Seth Estrada, and if you're watching this video, you're probably on my YouTube channel, Seth Estrada. You know what it is. We're talking about PigeonCoin today. What's the deal with PigeonCoin? And why are people mining it? Well, there are a couple of reasons, but let's go over this this guide or this news release. This is 10 days old, but again, occasionally I like to live under a rock. And PigeonCoin or PGN, it's a bit of a riff on RavenCoin. And why did RavenCoin achieve popularity? Because it introduced a new algorithm,
X16R.
X16R, pretty amazing. Became ASIC resistant right after Bitmain announced they were going to create the brand new Antminer X3 that mines Kryptonite. And of course, Fluffy Pony said, we're not having any of that. So Monero won't be mined by that machine. And as you know, only a few days ago, about a week ago, Monero hard forked using Kryptonite version 7. Or Kryptonite hard, if you want to call it that. Now, enter RavenCoin and PigeonCoin. RavenCoin introduced
X16R.
PigeonCoin, this is what their team says, the problem that they aim to solve is that they claim X16R is not consistent enough for GPU miners. They didn't mean to say that it was not predictable enough. If it were predictable, then an ASIC could be made. No, not consistent enough. So X16R kind of stands for random, but X16S, the new version that Pigeon uses, is for shuffle. Here's what they say, here's what they claim. Machines that run fairly consistent 375 megahashes per second on X16R will run it very, very consistently on X16S, basically guaranteeing that your income and your mining efforts will be, well, fairly consistent. So what's the rub? Some people like it, some people don't. This just happened today. PigeonCoin is a scam. Fight me. First off, I love that is the challenge. And they say these 4 points make them concerned about PigeonCoin. Launched on the 21st of March, announced on Bitcoin Talk 1 week later after they mined enough. Then after that, devs unironically asked miners to donate 500,000 PigeonCoin to pay for their exchange listing. They then asked community to buy off those 500,000 PigeonCoin so they have BTC to pay for the listing. No, it's not profitable to mine it. It doesn't have a price until it gets listed. You can tell me how they, quote, announced it on Discord and how it's a community coin that hundreds mined during that period and how there is no rule that you have to announce it on Bitcoin Talk. But let's be honest, this was a complete ninja launch. Then after all that, you ask for community to pay for your listing. Admit it, if this coin's price ends up being low once it gets listed, you will give 2 hoots about it. Yes, this is a family show. All right, I don't know that I can argue with that logic. That may well be true, but at the same time, is it a waste to mine it? I don't think so. I really don't think that it is. I think it's important for there to be proof of concept for every new algorithm that launches. X16R, that's totally true of RavenCoin, and X16S, if there's any merit at all in the algorithm and it being ASIC resistant, first off, we need some of that variety. We probably need both of these algorithms to be successful in the same way that it's actually important right now that Kryptonite and Kryptonite V7 stick around. Kryptonite because of the new ASICs that are coming out, and Kryptonite V7 because it's still GPU mineable. There's room for all of these different algorithms, proof of work algorithms, and if they can be more efficient, then all the better. First off, let's look at RavenCoin really briefly. There's an established way to figure out profitability, right? If you go to ravencalc.xyz, you can put in your numbers. Conveniently, I am able to hash 9,999 megahashes per second, which is, you know, a lot of money every day. I don't need to work when I have that much hashing power in my machine. Pretty cool. But you can put in your numbers. Let's just pretend like instead of that, it added to the total. That's not what I meant to do. Let's just pretend like instead I'm working with 6 of these GTX 1060s, which is about accurate. It's kind of more along the lines of, yeah, a little over $5 a day. And actually that fluctuated quite a bit from earlier today. Let me pop this up to about 38 megahashes per second. For whatever reason, I'm noticing performance that's somewhere between the 3 gig and 6 gig models, even though I have 6 gig cards. Okay, so about $6 a day, and these cards in that configuration are known to consume about $1.50. So we're looking at, yeah, it's not great, not terrible though either, about $4.50 a day. Is it really any better than mining Ethereum today? I don't know. Even mining Dagger on nice hash is pretty profitable today. But I digress. PigeonCoin. Is it a waste? Is it a scam? I don't think so, especially if I'm not the one who's funding its listing on an exchange. Getting on board with mining coins that are being mined before they go to an exchange, I think is worth it. Let's go over how to use this 6-card rig. Let me pop this thing up in the background. Let's fade that in. So that is the 6-card GTX 1060 6 gig OC rig. But let's look at how we can make this rig do well on PigeonCoin and see what tools we have available to us. I'm using Hive OS right here. If you don't already have Hive OS, then you can get Hive OS by simply going to bit.ly/get_HiveOS. You see the link right there on the screen. And you can download a copy for free. It is totally free for your first 3 rigs. So yes, that is an affiliate link, but I don't earn anything unless you scale up to the number of machines that Hive OS starts to charge for. So I think it's worth trying out at least. But right here, let's go down to my settings. When you're first popping in right there, it shows an IP address. That's my local IP address that I can shell into, and got a little service right there called Shell in a Box. Oh, it's my shell in a box. Yeah, yay. I've already logged in over here. This is what it looks like. It's basically a Linux terminal where I can launch the miner, or I can see the miner. But I'm inside of a Windows machine, just using Google Chrome to do that. So love using Hive OS. I've absolutely loved every minute of using Hive OS. Still like simple mining as well, but Hive OS is pretty awesome. Miner segue. Let's take a little closer look at all this. The way that I use Hive OS very simply is I choose the miner software that I'm going to use over here, and then I choose the coin that I'm going to mine over there, and then I press apply, miner and wallet. But what's going on under the hood? I actually don't configure the miner here, even though it says config right there. I mean, I guess I can, but that's not, you see, it didn't really go anywhere. It refreshed this view right here. If I want to configure what I'm mining, I go over to wallet and press on the edit icon right there. And I'm going to scroll down to where I have PigeonCoin. That's my active wallet and my active miner. Right here, I've got a PigeonCoin wallet. This is a random PigeonCoin wallet. Don't bother trying to send me anything unless you really, really want to dust me some PigeonCoin over there. That may make its way over to me. I'm using a miner fork you see below. This is just the wallet info. I can name it whatever I want. E-wallet, Z-wallet, D-wallet, kind of doesn't matter where you put this as long as you put it the correct wallet and worker template down here. I'm using blockcruncher.com. I felt like they were offering the most fair fees, fair pool fees, and it worked. And in order to actually use CC Miner on this rig, I have to use the Nevermore X16S fork of CC Miner. And then I tell it the algorithm that I want to use is X16S, and conveniently enough, just next to it is X16R. So X16S is the algorithm that I want to use. It supports X16R, this fork does, so I can mine either RavenCoin or PigeonCoin, but it's really that simple. So I'm using Stratum plus TCP, blockcruncher.com, and the port is 3636 for mid-level difficulty. That's all I have to do. I can do an overclocking profile, but the actual parameters or arguments for the miner, there's really not much that I can do with CC Miner and this new algorithm to tease out much more performance. It's kind of more in the overclock and keeping that stable. So I'll hit cancel because we didn't make any changes anyhow, but that's what that's going to do is anytime that I have selected this wallet, the PigeonCoin wallet, I don't have any other miners configured for it. So when I select CC Miner and that wallet, it's going to use the Nevermore fork of that miner, and then it's going to use that algorithm to mine to that pool and then deposit in that wallet. It's pretty darn cool. Scroll up to the top, go back to my rigs, click on the tab there. There we go. Rig 1. I know it's really creative in naming these. It's awesome. I've got them set as a default to 80% fan speed. It shows up as red there because generally speaking, if your devices are forced to go up to 80% fan speed, that's usually kind of an indication, you know, where there's smoke, there's fire, right? Usually an indication something is not quite right. But in this case, it's what I want. I want my GPUs running extra cool. Again, something that I love about Hive OS right there, ongoing hash rate, and then right there, ongoing power consumption or dynamic power consumption. If I want to see an update of that, I simply click on reload at the top of the page. It'll tell me that was 393 right there. Oh, up to 421. So there could be a difficulty spike depending on the part of the algorithm cycle that X16S is using. The thing that makes these new ASIC resistant algorithms special is that they use several different algorithms, and they just skip back and forth between several different algorithms that historically have been used for mining, and then with a weighted average give you your mega hashes per second for all of those algorithms together. So pretty darn cool. I think it's pretty darn smooth. On the PNY Accelerate OC 6 gig model of the GTX 1060s, I've got a core overclock of 180, memory overclock of 1650, and then power limit of 75 watts. Could I go a little lower? Looks like maybe I could. A couple of these cards are running at fairly low consumption, but it also could just be because of the cycle within that algorithm that they're using. Let's refresh one more time and take a look at that, because it says 83 watts, but this one says 42. Seems like a bit of a spread there, right? So when I refresh, yeah, now we've got several, 60, 63, the top is 75. So I suspect that it has to do with the different point in this algorithm, because it's so many other algorithms. It's at the point in this algorithm where maybe sometimes it's really pushing these cards hard, other times not so much, but it's already tuned. Go back to your shell in a box over here, and it looks like, yeah, consistently 37.82 mega hashes per second. And that's what it's telling me over here in the readout as well. Pretty straightforward. Let's go back to Miner View, Miner View, Miner View.
Miner Vision brought to you by mineyour.biz.
It's as simple as that. You can load Hive OS onto any 8 or 16 gig USB drive. Find a link in the description down below to get what I think my top pick is for USB drives for mining applications. Really inexpensive. You can get a bunch of them. You can flash them really easily using tools like etcher.io or others, and you can flash multiples at the same time using a USB hub. But guys, this is pretty simple. Your first 3 rigs are free to operate using Hive OS, and clearly it allows you to mine all the coolest, latest coins. PigeonCoin, RavenCoin, obviously the standbys, Zcash, Ethereum, etc. Plenty of crypto notes. What I've noticed that it hasn't quite caught up to just yet is CryptoNight Hard. So we're looking for support on Monero in Hive OS, and I'll come back to you with another video for that. Well, I still got you here. Be sure that you check out mineyour.biz/masternodes. Mineyour.biz/masternodes is your new home to check out all the latest news on my top picks for masternodes, and maybe diversifying from not only GPU crypto mining or ASIC mining, but also figuring out how to get into this crazy world of masternodes. I'm going to start giving you my top picks for masternodes with a disclaimer that I am not attempting to give anyone investment advice, and you should do your own research, of course. But masternodes have really become popular over the last several months since the bull run, because it appears to be a low-cost way of getting started with a form of contributing to the network and receiving rewards, receiving tokens for contributing to a given blockchain. I highly recommend that you read the description here and take a look at some of the charts that we have right there. Thank you to Jim Su. You can see his link to Twitter right there for initially aggregating the data and so carefully and thoughtfully putting this together. As always, thank you for subscribing. Thank you for hitting the bell icon. Thank you for watching these videos. You're the reason I do this. Love your face. I'll see you in the next one.